Hi there. So today's question is, have I switched off my alarm? Which I clearly haven't. That's a reminder to go live. Anyway, I'm here. So today's question in your next step from stress to inner peace is, are you doing it your way? And I am noticing a lot at the moment with the people I'm speaking to, whether that's in one-to-one situations with clients or just generally noticing perhaps noise on social media and things like that, that a lot of people, including me, are tying themselves in knots, trying to get things done like everybody else does, or like some other people do. So a great example of this for me personally has been the management of my tasks that I have to do on a day-to-day basis. And I've been through all sorts of different ways of doing this. So I was guided towards Asana by some very helpful virtual assistants, more than one very helpful virtual assistant tried to guide me towards Asana. You know who you are. And then I've tried Trello in various guises. I've tried the Google Tasks appy thing. I've tried putting reminders in my phone. I've tried all sorts of different things. And what's happened when I've tried to do it as everybody else advised me to do it was I didn't do it. That's the crux of the matter, is I just didn't do it. I just didn't keep track of my tasks. I ignored Asana. I used to swipe off the little reminders off my phone and computer. I just didn't do it. And because it just wasn't my way, it wasn't right for me. And recently I've gone back, and I've left it over there actually, but I'll pick it up and show you. So I've got a remarkable, which if you like gadgets, you might be. It's basically a notepad, but it's not a notepad. It's electronic. So it's a bit like, it writes on. It's like a Kindle. It's a lovely surface. You can write on it, wipe off it. And I've just gone back to a traditional list. I'm just writing a list of things I think it'd be a good idea to get done, and I'm just crossing them off. So call me old-fashioned, but what happened when I was trying to do it everybody else's way was I ended up just not doing things and just like rebelling almost against this instructional guidance I've been given from other people. And that meant I just didn't get the things that I really would have liked to have got done. So I went through a phase of just not having any task management system at all, just really rebelling. I've tried Asana, I'm not doing any of it. I'm just going to get up and do what I fancy doing. And I did miss things as a result of that, and forget things, because I am cruising towards 50 at a rate of knots. So I do forget things. I am human. And now I've got a list. Like, it's so 80s, I know, guys, but you know, I am a woman who was around then. So I like a list, and I'm just keeping a list, and I'm crossing things off. And I like the satisfaction of looking at my list with all the things crossed off. And that's good, because I'm doing it my way. And when we look outside of ourselves all the time for the answers, we end up getting tied in knots. So that's an example from business. And there are many, many more examples of business. I was speaking to a client not so long since who was about getting very caught up in how everybody else does it and what everybody else's business looks like, and kept looking towards the outside to try and find the solutions. And what happens then is we end up, like I did, with almost like analysis paralysis. Like, shall I do it Joe Blogg's way? Shall I do it Fred Smith's way? Shall I do it Uncle Tom Cobley's way? And you end up with all this going on in your head. And what happens then is that you don't hear your own inner guidance of what will work for you. And it pervades business. There's a lot of people out there, well-meaning people who found something that worked for them, and now they are pushing it towards other people in a very innocent and kind manner. They just want to help other people. And it kind of can look like we're meant to do it their way, and we're not. We're meant to do it our way. If you find something that somebody else does and it works for you, that's amazing. But just see how long that lasts is one thing to look at. So that's where it comes into the area of business really, really strongly. So another area that I've really noticed, and this is one that is absolutely crackers at the moment, because we're coming out of this, are we coming out, coming out of the last few months shenanigans, and it is at weight. The reports are saying that, lots of people have put on a few pounds over the last few months, and there will be people desperately seeking the solutions to that issue. And you go into any bookshop and there is a plethora of books, and there is a plethora of things online. There is an absolute ton of stuff that's all about, this has worked for me, and so I'm going to get you to do it and it'll work for you too. And of course, that's not invariably the case. This is why Slimming World and the other slimming clubs are a fantastic business model, because they, at some point in some distant past, they found something that worked for them, and then they went, oh, let's share this with everybody else and try and help them. Completely innocent. I'm not criticizing these people. I'm not saying they did anything wrong. I'm just saying that it's not coming from our own intuition. And I'm noticing at the moment with clients I'm helping around this issue is that they have got a head full of all the rules and the regulations on when they should eat and when they shouldn't eat, and whether they should be fasting. You hear that word should coming out there, what they should be eating, what foods are right, blah, 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 blah. And what happens again then is that the thoughts about food are massive. They're there all the time. The thoughts about what you should and shouldn't be doing in relation to food. And of course, the result of that is a head full of thoughts about food. And guess what then? You just think about food more, and then you eat more. I mean, it's that simple. You eat because you have a thought about eating. It's no more difficult than that. And we tend to listen to this in regard to food and what's going on up here, rather than, again, that intuition that in terms of food and eating comes from your stomach. Is your stomach actually ready for food? Is there space in your stomach for food? Is your food, and what kind of food in this moment do you need to eat that's best for your body? So like for me, I notice if certain times a month, my body is saying, just a bit more carbohydrate, Claire. You just need a bit more carbohydrate, and it's fine. But if I was sticking to some kind of, lean, mean machine diet, or whatever it's called, and I thought I couldn't eat those carbohydrates, then I would end up feeling grotty, because I would be not doing what my body is asking me to do. And the alternative to that is intuitive eating, is that baby-like quality where we know when we're hungry and we know when we're full. And increasingly, I'm guiding people towards that way of looking at things, just taking things off our minds, taking things that are everybody else's made-up thinking off our minds, because we've got enough of our own made-up thinking. We don't need anybody else's in there. So the other area where I see this is pervasive, this looking outside for the solutions, it is mental health. And again, I think the model is very similar. People find something that works. Somebody is in a difficult situation with their mental well-being. They look for a solution, or they create a solution. They find something that works for them. Is it a combination of nutrition and practices or tools and techniques, whatever? So they find something that works for them, and then they go out into the world to share that, because they have a passion to help other people. And that's exactly what I did. I found a set of tools, like a morning routine and some other things like gratitude and meditation, affirmations, that I thought had helped me to recover from a serious mental illness. And I then got a bit evangelical. Do it this way, because this is how you will get better. And as I have allowed all that to drop away out of my life, I can just see it so much more clearly now that my job is not to go around fixing people or telling them how to do it. My job is a help to guide them to a quiet place, to a place of inner peace. I don't know what's with all the alarms this morning. To guide them to a place of inner peace so they can find what's right for them in the moment. They can take some things off their minds, because when we're quiet, and only when we're quiet, we can hear what's right for us. Not what's right for Joe Bloggs or Fred Smith or Uncle Tom Cobley, but what is right for us. And the fourth place where I see this happening is within business well-being strategies, that businesses are seeking support for their staff around stress management invariably and mental health issues. And they are again going outside and looking for all the tools, and then they're offering those to staff. So they might do a meditation workshop or some other kind of well-being, and they'll be full of the things I used to. Mine was called Stress to Success Habits, and I used to go out and share that with people, and invite them to take up all those different practices. But that was, now I see it so differently. I was probably giving those people more things to carry around with them, more things on their mind. And who needs that? We have enough to think about. We have enough to do. We have enough on that list that I've showed you that's on our minds, without having somebody else's idea of what's right for us, whether that is within our business, our personal businesses, whether that is with our eating habits, whether that's with our mental health, whether it's with as a business, you're looking for a strategy to help your staff. Maybe don't put anything else on their plates because they've got enough. So what's the antidote to this? You may be wondering. She said a lot. What's the answer? It is to understand where all our experience is coming from. And the simple idea of that, the simple understanding that I share, that 100% of our experience is coming from thought in the moment. And that's all there is. There isn't anything else. And the simplicity of that feels so simple sometimes. It is so simple. It's not always easy, but it is something you can be guided towards. And as that understanding deepens, everything just gets easier. Everything's in here. All your answers are in here. They are not outside of you. It's maybe time to stop looking outside and start looking inside. So that's been this morning's step from stress to inner peace. I hope you found that helpful. I'm Claire Downham, transformational coach from Unique Journey. Have a fabulous day and take care.